Hey y'all, welcome to Caveman Barbecue Outdoors. Today we're going to turn this guy into some fish tacos for you. Alrighty, so I promised you guys some red snapper. On the last video I said we were going offshore fishing, and we did. However, it was way too rough for our little bay boat, so we weren't able to run as far offshore as we wanted to. Caught a bunch of these guys, too small to keep, bunch of whiting, and just the typical near shore Gulf species. So we picked this guy up from Central Market, and still fulfilling my promise of making a red snapper video for you. That being said, we have another trip planned. We'll take you along for that one for sure. But fish, pretty easy to clean, guys. I did want to get a whole one to at least show you what I do cleaning wise. You clean red snapper just like you clean everything else. I would just be careful because they have some pretty nasty spines everywhere in their gill plates, or like razor blades, so just be careful there. So first thing I do with just like any other fish is I want to come in, just put the tip of my knife and find the backbone. And this guy's not scaled, so it's going to be a little tough to puncture right there. And what I want to do is find that backbone and just trace my cuts. I'm not going too deep. I'm just using the tip right now. Yes, I know, just the tip. We're going to trace where we want to cut. Go. And what I do is I just go ahead and I make my incision right there. And then this guy, we're going to cut right behind this pec fin right here. I like to go at an angle and avoid that head muscle. Like so. And then what we do is now you're going to put your knife in there a little bit deeper. Small steps at a time. Make sure you follow that backbone as close as you can. And little pieces at a time so you don't miss any meat. This is a very expensive fish, and for those of you guys that offshore fish a lot, that boat gas is expensive, so you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth and not missing any meat on that bone there. We're going to go over those ribs. We'll cut this way now. That's the sound you want to hear right there. That way you know you're not missing any meat. You're going right over those ribs. Don't want to miss any of that meat. I don't usually fillet from this angle. I'll come this way for you guys. There we go. There's one fillet, and you can see not a lot of meat we missed there, but I am going to show you what I do. I'm going to come back and get a lot of this guys out. And we're going to kind of repeat the same process on the other end. So again, guys, it's imperative you want to make sure that knife is as close to that backbone as possible so you're not missing any meat. And then for the meat that you do miss, I'm going to show you a pretty simple trick that I do to make sure you're maximizing your protein. And just some fish handling advice. I was struggling to see where the camera was. Whenever you're cooking a saltwater fish, you want to keep it away from freshwater as long as possible. I like to leave the skin on when transporting. I don't like to scale or do anything until I'm ready to actually eat it. So when I transport the fish, the only thing I do is I gut it at the dock, or if you're going to go ahead and clean right then and there, do it. But at least make sure you get the guts out. I almost hit the ducks out. You want to at least make sure you get your guts out of the fish, and then you want to keep fresh water off of it for as long as possible. With saltwater fish, the freshwater is introducing freshwater actually starts the decomposition process, and we don't want some disgusting gamey fish for dinner. So there we go. As you can see, we got a lot of meat off of this guy. There is still some more meat on the head and the cheeks, so I'm going to go ahead and get that out for you guys as well. And I'm going to show you what we do with that in a separate video. But cheek meat, this guy's kind of small, so there may not be a ton here. You just want to feel around kind of where it's at. And then you just want to poke your knife through. And then you want to spin this kind of around in circles. You just want to get as much of this out as possible. Again, this is a smaller fish, so there's not going to be a ton of cheek meat here, but again, we want to maximize as much protein as we possibly can, especially when we take something's life. We want to respect it, and we want to make sure none of it goes to waste. So, it doesn't look like much, but it's something. And believe it or not, guys, those snapper cheeks are one of my favorite parts of the entire fish. I used to not eat them, but one of my buddies turned me on them. Actually off a big old Warsaw grouper that we caught. It was crazy. It was like a big scallop with the amount of meat that was on that fish. This guy, again, he is smaller, not as much, but we still want to make sure we maximize as much as we can. All right, I switched to a more stout knife. Here's what we're gonna go ahead and do. We're gonna take all this head meat that we missed. We want to get as much of this as possible. Alrighty, guys. Beside those throats, which I'm actually not going to take on this fish, we got as much meat as we possibly can. I'm going to come back with a spoon and get this head meat as well as all the meat on the ribs. But we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and get these guys seasoned up for you and throw them on the grill. I do want to mention, guys, this fish is probably 14 inches, so I don't know how these commercial guys get away with keeping these fish. In federal waters, red snapper have to be minimum 16 inches. State water in Texas, I think 15. We typically throw back anything that's less than 18 inches just to let them grow. So not as much meat on this guy as you typically see. I mean, on a big 30-inch red snapper, you'll get, I mean, probably 5 pounds just in each fillet. So, but we still don't want to waste any meat, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a spoon, and all this head meat I want to try to get out as much as I possibly can here. And I'm gonna set them aside in a bowl. And for those of you that wonder how you get spicy tuna texture at the sushi shop, this is actually what they do with those big yellowfin and bluefin tuna. They try to maximize as much of their profits as possible, so they take a whole fish like this and they're gonna scrape as much meat out of it as they possibly can. And again, be careful with those spines. I got myself again. They are really sharp. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just take this head off. There we go. And what I'm gonna do here is completely optional, but I don't like to waste any meat. I am a caveman after all. Is I'm gonna come in and scrape what I can off the bones while avoiding the scales. And we're not making spicy tuna or spicy red snapper today, so this is actually gonna be going in a ceviche, which we're gonna show you how to make on a different video with the same fish. And there you have it. When everything's said and done, if you did it right, the carcass should look just like this. Now, this is what you can feed to the sharks, so just go ahead and chuck overboard. We wanna, again, make sure, if we're gonna kill something, guys, we wanna make sure nothing goes to waste. So this is like paper thin here, and even the head scraped out. We took the cheeks off of it, so we did a pretty good job cleaning this fish. Now we're gonna take you guys to cleaning those fillets up and getting them on the grill. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get our fillets cleaned up before we throw them on the grill. So the first thing I do is I'm just gonna come over here, cut that belly meat out and get those rib bones out the way. Meat that you missed. There we go. That can go into the sink. Remember, the skin and scales are still on here. We're gonna give this a final rinse here in a bit just to get all that off, but we're gonna save all this scrap meat for the ceviche pile. Okay, so again, skin, scales, all still on. Way to remove fish skin, pretty easy. I'm a big believer in leaving skin on, guys, but you know, for tacos, not so much, but if I'm making like a pan-seared fish, definitely leave the skin on. But in our case today, we're gonna remove the skin. All we wanna do is we wanna make a slight incision, and we want our knife to be parallel with the bottom of the fillet. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna wiggle and pull, like so. Again, leaving your knife as close to the skin as possible. And there we go. Look at that. No skin, hardly any meat left on this. So again, just keep your knife here, wiggle and pull like so. That's what it'll look like. It gets a lot of that nasty bloodline out of the way. Snapper doesn't really have a big distinct bloodline, but just a little bit. Some people cut that out, some people leave it. I'm gonna leave it today, but there you go. Alrighty, y'all, because this fish is so fresh, all we're gonna do to season it today is just gonna go on with some olive oil, which we already put on, some sea salt, garlic powder, and some black pepper. I am gonna put some fresh lemon on the grill, and we are gonna go ahead and grill those off with this guy. But you don't need any of those crazy fish rubs. Just want to keep it super simple on fresh fish, guys. You want to taste that meat. That's the star of the show. Just like a good steak or a good brisket or any good protein, you really want to taste what you're eating. You don't want to just taste straight up seasoning. And then we're going to go ahead and pepper this guy up. Like so. And we're ready for the grill. We're gonna go ahead and take you guys outside. We have a good post-oak fire going right now. Gonna sear these off just a couple minutes on each side. We're gonna come back, plate up with some tacos for you. Alrighty, y'all, got my fire going here. Again, just burning a pretty low, easy, gentle post-oak fire. Nothing's better than cooking over live flame. So we're gonna go ahead and put our snapper fillets on here. Again, we went ahead and we greased this just a little bit. And snapper is kind of a delicate fish, so we want to be careful about getting this guy too shredded up. But we want to go ahead and put those two fillets on. And we want to keep a very close eye on this. I'm going to leave this lid open. That way I can make sure we're not overcooking anything here. We don't want to overcook fish, so we're probably looking about, what would you say, probably like 3 minutes each side, maybe if that. So these are pretty thin. We just want to keep a pretty close eye on them. And then after we flip it, I'm actually gonna go lid shut, put some pats of butter on there, and that should be delicious. We are gonna get that citrus cold as well. Alrighty, guys, before we wrap these tacos up, I'm gonna show you a little bit. I don't even know what the heck we're gonna call this thing. It's kind of like a vinaigrette, I guess like a Mexican chimichurri. We're gonna use this as a taco topper. We're also gonna mix it with some slaw here. So pretty simple recipe. What I'm gonna do is take a bunch of cilantro stems, throw them in a blender, and then actually just a little bit of cilantro as well. About yay much with the stems attached. A couple cloves of garlic. We're gonna take about 1/3 of an onion, and then the juice of 1 lime. Then we're also gonna top that with the juice of 1/2 of a lemon. Then, just like a regular chimichurri, we're gonna add quite a bit of olive oil in here. We're gonna do about, we'll say about 1/3 of a cup, about that much. To that, we're also gonna add just a splash red wine vinegar. About that much. And then we're going to do just some salt and pepper to taste. About that much. And if it does get a little sticky, we are going to add a little bit more olive oil to it. Let's see how we do. We're going to add just a little bit more olive oil to this guy. Make it move for us. That's so hard to beat, guys. That's amazing. It's really fresh, and it really is just like a Mexican chimichurri. It's amazing. So we're gonna add that to our bowl of slaw. We're gonna mix this all up like so. And we're good to go. We're gonna add this to our tacos. Absolutely gonna be amazing with that fish. Really nice acidity to it. We'll cut any fat. Not that the fish is gonna be fatty at all, but it'll be a really nice addition to a fish taco. Alrighty, y'all, it's been about 2 minutes here. We're just gonna give this a quick little peek. Oh yeah. We are ready to flip. That looks gorgeous. It'd be better if you had a spatula. I'm not gonna lie to you. That looks amazing. So what we're gonna go ahead and do here, you know, we have to piss my doctor off somehow. We took a perfectly good meal. We're adding a bunch of butter to it. So a couple pats of butter. And not quite ready on the citrus yet, but once that butter melts down a bit and that citrus gets a little bit, I'm calling it citrus like I'm a damn scientist. Once this lemon and lime get a little bit more color on them, we're gonna squeeze it over the top. For now, I am gonna go lid down, let that butter melt, kind of drip down in the fire, get some charbroiling going on, and we're gonna be ready to eat here in just a few minutes. The slaw's already done. All I gotta do is heat up some tortillas. We'll probably use this fire right here to do so, and we're gonna have some good healthy eats tonight. Gonna hit it with a little lemon lime, just like Sprite. And I'll tell you what, that is hot, but do it for you guys, for the YouTube. We're gonna go ahead and throw some tortillas on here. We grabbed one too many tortillas. Certainly. 3 Jaeger, our official tortilla dog. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull this fish off, hopefully without making it fall apart too bad. This is where a spatula would come in handy. Look at that. We're gonna go ahead and get these tortillas nice and toasted. And please, guys, for the love of everything holy, if you already have a fire going, please heat your tortillas over a fire. You will thank me later. It is amazing. It is the only way to do tortillas. A little bit of charring on there, it's spectacular. You'll thank me. That's what you're looking for right there, folks. We're gonna go ahead and take this inside, get this plated for you guys, and we'll let you know how it came out. Alrighty, y'all, as you can see, the fish turned out absolutely fantastic. And I'm actually, before we talk about the fish, I'm gonna give you a forewarning. If you hear any heavy breathing, that sounds reminiscent of a diesel truck. The dogs are outside, so just giving you a forewarning. If you hear any grunts in the background as well, there's a little man right behind the camera over there that's trying to show you his yellow Jeep. And trying to do this and be a dad at the same time. Alrighty, guys, so fish turned out absolutely fantastic. Amazing grill marks, topped it with some lemon butter. We're gonna go ahead and get this plated up. So we're gonna go ahead and get this cut right down the middle, like so. As you can see, got a fantastic cook on that. Alrighty, got our tacos plated. We're gonna go ahead and get our slaw on here. Don't need much. Plate it just like so. And for those of you that like to fish, I know not everyone has access to a boat or has the ability to go out there and catch red snapper, but you want to make sure you ice your fish down as soon as you possibly can, as cold as you possibly can. A lot of the time, if you're grilling fish and it's falling apart, that's why. It wasn't iced down correctly. It was left out in the sun maybe a little bit too long. So you want to do yourself a favor, and we'll talk about this more whenever we're on the boat, but you want to make sure you ice your fish down properly. But here we go. We got ourselves some beautiful tacos here. I'm actually going to go ahead and take a bite of this one for you guys, let you know how it came out. That is super good, y'all. Really healthy, really super simple meal. Don't be afraid or be intimidated by making fish. It is super easy to do, very simple. So you just need salt, pepper, maybe some garlic, squeeze a lemon, put it over a bed of rice, and you're good to go. I super appreciate you guys watching, as always. It means a lot to me. I know this is not like a huge channel or anything like that. Please share this with friends, give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe. It's absolutely free for you guys to do, and it means a lot to us. It gives us a lot of encouragement to help grow the channel. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much.